respected chairperson, my seniors and juniors, very good afternoon to all of you. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Rohini Deshpande, Dr. Nandita Palshitkar, Madam Soma Vanshi, Dr. Kahar, and whole Amravati OBGY Society for inviting me for this talk. Safe motherhood is a right of every woman. It is our responsibility to help to achieve it.
Achha.
Globally, approximately 140 million births occur per year. The majority of these are vaginal births, which are low risk, and the risk factor has not been identified at the time of onset of labor. However, situation during birth can worsen and they can end up in the complication which can lead to maternal perinatal morbidity and mortality. It has been reported that 1/3 of the maternal death attributes to complications that arise during labor, childbirth, and the immediate postpartum period due to hemorrhage, obstructed labor, and sepsis. Similarly, approximately half of all stillbirths and the quarter of neonatal deaths occurs due to complication during labor and childbirth. The burden of maternal and perinatal mortality is disproportionately higher in low and middle income countries compared to high income countries. Therefore, improving the quality of care around the time of birth, especially in low and middle income countries, has been identified as the most impactful strategy for reducing maternal and perinatal mortality compared to antenatal and the postnatal strategies. So WHO defines quality of care as the extent to which healthcare services provided to individuals and patient population improve desired health outcomes. In order to achieve this, healthcare must be safe, effective, timely, efficient, equitable, and people-centered. Due to focus global advocacy, many countries came forward and they increased the birth rate in the facilities. However, whatever impact we thought about it will reduce the maternal and perinatal mortality, it did not happen. The WHO multi-country survey on maternal and newborn health with data for more than 300,000 women attending 359 healthcare facilities in 29 countries showed a poor correlation between coverage of essential intervention. So addressing the quality of care is a fundamental in reducing maternal and newborn mortality for achieving the health-related SDG target by 2030. Studies have shown that effective high-quality care to prevent and manage complications during childbirth, most critical period, is likely to reduce the number of maternal deaths, stillbirth, and early neonatal deaths significantly. In 2016, WHO published 56 standards for improving the quality of maternal and newborn care in healthcare facilities, and they are care throughout the labor and birth, care during first stage, second stage, third stage, immediate newborn care, and immediate care of women after birth. In FOGSI certified course of Manyata, now it is Lakshya Manyata with government, we have 15 standards for intrapartum care. Now, WHO Standard 3 says, every woman and newborn with condition that cannot be dealt effectively with the available resources should be transferred immediately to the appropriate health facility. So now, what are the care throughout the labor and birth? This is a respectful maternity care where we provide all women to maintain their dignity, privacy, confidentiality, and we just support them during the labor. Then there should be effective communication, companionship during labor of her choice should be there, and whenever the midwife facility is available, they should be continuous in touch with the patient. So you know what is the latent phase, but WHO now defines the latent phase up to 5 centimeters of dilatation of the cervix. And this duration of the latent phase varies from patient to patient. The active phase are regular painful contraction and progressive dilatation of the cervix till full dilatation. Duration of this should not exceed 12 hours in primary and 10 hours in multi. Now, routine clinical pelvimetry, routine perineal pubic shaving and administration of enema are not recommended by WHO. Similarly, in low-risk patients, cardiotocography is also not recommended, but you can auscultate with your Seto or fetoscope or with the Doppler, you can auscultate. That is the recommendation by WHO. Digital examination should be done every 4 hourly once she is in active labor or depending upon her contraction. So continuous cardiotocography is also not required. The WHO says in a low-risk patient, you should only auscultate for at least 1 minute. And if you find abnormal, then you can do the tococardiography and for 20 minutes. If that is also found to be normal, again go back to the auscultation method. So pain relief during labor is very, very important. There can be analgesic drugs, inhalation analgesia, and regional anesthesia. So wherever it is possible, depending upon the facilities, the epidural is the best analgesia, which blocks the sensory pathways from T10 to L1. Clear fluid should be recommended during labor. Position can be, she can walk around, and monitoring the progress of labor is very important. And as soon as she goes into active phase of labor, all the events should be recorded in the partogram. So what partogram will tell us? The well-being of the fetus, well-being of the mother, and progress of the labor. So you all are aware about the partogram. It is plotted after the 4 centimeter or what WHO says 5 centimeter. It starts with that. It serves as an early warning system and assists in early decision on transfer, augmentation, and termination of labor. So latent phase is less than 8 hours and active phase remains to be on the left of the alert line. Then do not augment with oxytocin or intervene unless complication develop. ARM should be done at the active stage of labor. If it is your partogram is between alert and the action line, and if you are in the healthcare system, then you should transfer the patient to the facilities where cesarean section facilities are available unless she is fully dilated. ARM should be performed, wait for short time, and then if possible transfer to the tertiary care center or wherever the cesarean section facilities are available. In hospital, you should do ARM and observe the patient. If your partogram line shows beyond action line, then you have to deliver this patient if she is having fetal distress or obstructed labor. Your oxytocin augmentation if no contraindication, and supportive therapy to observe her, and if she is progressing 1 centimeter per hour, then you can wait and watch. Now in this partogram, you will see clearly the cervical dilatation has gone beyond the action line, which is green line. So what you have to do, the cesarean section was done and live male infant 4.6 kg was delivered. Now in the other partogram, you will see the weak uterine contraction, where the oxytocin was started and patient had a spontaneous delivery, live male infant weight 2.6 kg. So partogram will really tell us what stage we have to terminate, what stage we have to take for a cesarean, and what stage you can start the oxytocin. Continuous electronic monitor is recommended when there is a meconium stent like her, and woman from low risk has she has exited from the low risk pathway. So now we are at the second stage of labor, that is full dilatation to the expulsion of the fetus. Nowadays, WHO recommend primary gravida not more than 3 hours, multigravida not more than 2 hours, and if the epidural anesthesia is given, it should not be more than 4 hours. That is 2019 NICE guideline, it tells. So now the maternal condition should be monitored, pulse rate every 15 minutes, blood pressure hourly, fetal heart rate every 5 minutes, and look for the amniotic fluid, meconium stain liquor. Uterine contraction should be good uterine contraction, otherwise you will have to augment it, and the progress of descent every 30 minutes. Position of the mother, whether you are given epidural or not given epidural, it depends upon the patient wish. But usually we give a semi-recumbent or supported sitting position with the thighs abducted is the posture most commonly adopted. Bearing down, you have to support. When there is a strong contraction, you support her to push the baby down. The episiotomy, it has been reported there is no evidence of reduction in perineal laceration, incontinence, prolapse, and perineal laxity. Hence, it is not recommended. So, how can we prevent the perineal trauma? So, they are recommending to give the perineal support at the time of delivery. Fundal pressure is not recommended. A randomized control trial performed by Epi et al. Determined that application of fundal pressure did not cut short the second stage of labor. So now we are at the Act 2 management of the third stage of labor. So cord clamping should be delayed for 1 to 3 minutes, provided the baby is not asphyxiated and not preterm. Control cord traction should be done by the skilled birth attendant. Uterine massage is not advocated if you are given oxytocin prophylactic. Oxytocin is a drug of choice, 10 international unit intramuscular or IV. And if the oxytocin is not available, you can go for the argometrin. Now, oxytocin is not available, you can go for the misoprostol 600 microgram orally. What are the benefits of the prophylactic management of the third stage of labor? It has been reported when you give oxytocin, it reduces 25% cases of PPH and 50% reduction in the need for transfusion. Early administration of the oxytocin does not cause retained placenta. Following delivery, administration of the oxytocin should be continued for 2 to 3 hours, so there are less chances of atonic postpartum hemorrhage. In review of 5 multi-center randomized controlled trial of efficacy of misoprostol was compared with 10 units of oxytocin, and they reported that oxytocin is a better drug for the active management of third stage of labor. Now what about the baby? Routine nasal and oral suction should not be done if baby has a spontaneous breathing and no meconium stain liquor. Skin to skin contact should be done as early as possible, so it will prevent hypothermia and promote breastfeeding. Breastfeeding should be done as soon as possible if there are no complications, and vitamin K 1 milligram to be given to the baby after 1 hour for the prophylaxis. Bathing, they say you should control for 24 hours, but we have a cultural, that's why they give the bath as early as possible. They say we should withhold for 6 hours. And mother and baby rooming is very important. After delivery, immediately care of the mother is that we have to look for the tone of the uterus at least for 2 hours, that is the 4th stage of labor, pulse BB and bleeding PV, because the maximum hazards occurs during these 2 hours. And you should monitor this patient at least for 2 hours. So to conclude, maternal and perinatal mortality is disproportionately higher in low and middle income countries compared to high income countries. Therefore, improving the quality of care around the time of the birth is very, very important. Strict follow up the standards of the care during childhood will definitely improve quality care, which will significantly reduce maternal and perinatal mortality and morbidity. I would like to end my talk with the say, quality is never an accident. It is always the result of intelligence efforts. I thank all of you for your patient hearing.